Fly Part 2. I love how we were focusing a lot on Walter's eyes there. And how he is focused on the fly. Especially knowing like the significance of a fly in the context of Breaking Bad and Walter's character and all.
Mr. White, the car's been dealt with.
I like how we can still see the fly in this shot. Very out of focus, but...
Sure.
Oh. Well.
I don't want to talk about this.
Okay.
I mean...
I need to talk to you. In private. So what's the story? You get the mic? So what do we do?
We? Who's we?
You said you're
There's
done.
no we, Jesse. I'm the only vote left. And I'll handle it.
Yeah, we're in a pickle right now. Oh, that look on Jesse's face. Yeah, that look. There's a feeling of helplessness and desperation there, you know, like, well, shit, I can't do anything. But yeah, really sad about Mike once again, like, and the fact they had to get rid of him the usual way. Just, yes, wash away all of your sins, Walter. Focusing on the book again. Is Walter gonna meet Lydia? Oh, I'm sorry. Heisenberg is gonna meet Lydia. I'm sorry, but... the most inconspicuous man just entered the restaurant.
There's no way he'd ever go for this. You getting rid of his guys. You wouldn't be doing this. The names. If Mike were still a factor.
She's smart.
We've got 46,000 employees spread across 14 divisions. And once Mike's people are no longer a factor, things should tidy up nicely.
If this is such a slam dunk, then why didn't you pitch it to Fring?
Good question.
He said yes. We were in the final stages of working it out.
Until...
Okay.
Trust me, if you do this...
Lydia, learn to take yes for an answer.
You're not gonna do research on it, Walt? Seems like a rash decision from Walter. And I mean, to be fair, this is also a rash decision on Lydia. Like, she just wrote all of their names. So, well...
we're going to make a lot of money together.
I mean, all of this could work, but... you know, the bigger you are, the more noticeable you get, right? Woo! Oh, Walter was ready. Put it back where it belongs. We'll see it again. Later in the future, I bet. You don't just leave poison there and not do anything. Especially when we're in the final season. Like, I still think that Walter's gonna consume the poison by himself. Or I mean, like, the poison's gonna get to Walter eventually, like karma.
Shower room, cells, easy stuff.
I'll say we go with her.
Oh.
Right. Our boys get it.
Oh. Is that painting again?
Where do you suppose these come from? I've seen this one before.
Yep.
It can be done, just not the way you want it.
I mean, that's always been a recurring theme throughout this entire series. But the thing is, Walter always gets what he wants.
It can be done exactly how I want it. The only question is, are you the man to do it?
Walter dropping all of these one-liners once again. Remember when Walter was like scared to talk business back in season 1, and here we are.
Nothing's impossible. I have found.
Holy shit.
Start over again. Don't lose your confidence. Let's just have fun and start all over again.
Insane montage. Insane choice of music as well. Fits perfect with the mood.
So inspired till the battle of you may be sick and tired.
Yes, it's done.
Absolute cinema.
Is it okay if I turn this off? Sure. I don't want the news on right now. Hank just pulled up and he's not in the best mood.
Oh, I am sure Hank is not in the best mood right now. All of his leads are dead.
Or we could order Chinese.
Hank! He's right there! You know, Walter's like execution here reminds me a lot of Gus's. You know, all those seasons ago when he took out like the Mexican cartel through the phone. I mean,
Been thinking about this summer job I used to have. Yeah? Back in college, I'd spend my days marking trees in the woods with this orange spray can. Been thinking about that job more and more lately.
Wow.
Maybe I should have enjoyed it more. Tagging trees is a lot better than chasing monsters.
Oh, what a line. Whoa! Alright. Lydia honoring her part of the deal. Whoa. They have been going ham in both these montages and these transitions. Oh man. The editing. You know, it's simple, but very effective. Ah, that's cool. That's very cool.
There you go, sweetie. That's it. Oh my God, look at her go. Good job. Good job.
So how long has it been? I'm gonna guess like a couple of months. But like, kind of goes to show like there has been a time of relative quote-unquote peace.
It's been almost 3 months, right?
Alright, thank you for the time frame.
The best way to help repair the family would be to
Repair the family. Yeah.
You know?
Oh. With the reflections of like the water from the swimming pool. Or wait, reflections? Refractions. Oh. An iconic place for Walter to sit by. The swimming pool is like the crystal meth, right? The color, I mean. Is that a pile of cash? It's gonna be a pile of cash. Jesus.
How much is this?
I have no earthly idea.
I don't know. Too rich to not know how much you have.
I want my kids back. I want my life back.
Stop the madness.
How much is enough? How big does this pile have to be?
Walter, you've reached beyond your goal, man. Good. Get a medical checkup just to be sure. Again, the metaphor between creating meth, the job, and the cancer. Like, is it done? Is it over? Walter looking at... I was just about to say, man. Reminding me a lot of like that moment. Can't believe they haven't fixed that.
Hi.
Jesse should be like confused. This is the first time Walter came into my house without shouting my name.
There was no other option, Jesse. It had to be done.
Yeah, Jesse's a bit tensed up here because, you know.
Remember that time we ran out of gas coming back from a cook?
Gage always said half full.
So you had to walk 3 miles with a jerry can while I waited on the side of the road, praying the whole time that no cop would show up, no good Samaritan.
The good old days of seasons 1 and 2. Oh, fuck. Yeah, Jesse was really scared that Walter's gonna, jump on him. I mean, what Walter did is a good thing. Give Jesse, all the money in the world, but at the same time, can also kind of relate giving Jesse money to giving him another addiction, right? Look at all this money that we can work again if you want to. Because the show ain't fooling me on the fact that Walter's gonna be quitting on this.
I'm out.
Okay, maybe Walter is quitting on this. Terrible timing for me to say that. Walter's out, but is Todd out? That's the problem.
It yields a damn tasty product.
I don't know why.
This is nice. Family gathering once again. Everybody's feeling happy and cheery.
Anybody want anything? You want anything?
No, I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good, thank you.
Does it look glossier?
Okay.
Halo?
How's she doing?
I mean, maybe.
As long as Hank doesn't find the book. Fuck off. Fuck off. The book's right there. No, don't. Just don't read. Fuck. He's gonna find. He's gonna find something. To my other favorite.
My star, my perfect silence. I mean, who you figure that is? Yeah? Woodrow Wilson? Willy Wonka?
Walter White.
Walter White?
You got me.
And they play the theme for the very end of the. This is the perfect time to. Oh. Well, it finally happened, folks. Ladies and gents. I don't know how to feel about this. Cat's out of the bag. I'm still processing this, you know. He figured it out. He figured it out. We are halfway through the season. And Hank figuring it out the moment Walter said that he's out. Just when he thought he was out, he pulled him back in again. What's crazy is that Hank said that, you know, in the earlier seasons, right, when it comes to his job. Now, I mean, look, I mean, it's not like this is a surprise, because it's obviously not. Like, this is something that should be pretty obvious in terms of like story progression, narrative progression, character progression, of course, you know, Hank finally figuring out Walter's identity. It's only a matter of when, right? In a story like this, it's only a matter of when things are gonna happen. Well, it finally happened halfway through the season. There is a lot left to cover. There's a lot left to do. The problem now is, what is Hank gonna do with this situation, with this revelation, with this information? All of the Asians. Wait, no, that came out wrong. Not Asian with a T, not with an S. Apologies. But now Hank has this difficult situation, right? He has this difficult position where he is either gonna have to cover for his brother-in-law, which I don't think he's gonna do, or he's gonna have to put him down. That's the hard part. And it's not just Walter that he is up against. No, now he is up against everybody else in the family, right? Because now it's a, you know, like, if Hank is gonna be facing Skyler, for example, I feel like Skyler is gonna be taking on Walter's side of like, Hank, please, you know, come on, leave us off the hook. You know, like, we're making money here. This is for the future and all that stuff, you know, because I feel like Skyler is gonna be in Walter's side until situations developed, right? Where Skyler has to betray Walter to an extent, right? That is also a possibility. Obviously the children are going to be a key factor in deciding Skyler's position in all of this, because above Walter is the children when it comes to Skyler, right? I mean, the fact that Skyler wanted to leave Walter so many times, wanted to divorce Walter so many times, and wanted to take the children with her so many times. It's clear that if the children are not on Walter's side, then Skyler is not on Walter's side. So I feel like that is gonna be like the main key. And when I say children, I just mean Walter Jr. because, yeah, obviously the one with an actual developed brain that is mature and not just a baby. Marie, I don't know what's gonna be Marie's situation in all of this. Though I feel like Marie's probably gonna be more aligned with Skyler, given that they are, you know, related. But yeah, Marie's gonna be like, well, I mean, Marie, the wife of Hank here. So issues, so many issues. And then of course there's Jesse, right? Let's not forget about Jesse. Given that money and everything. Now, I did mention during the reaction, like, that could be Walter, like, showing Jesse, like, hey, look at what we could have accomplished. But, upon, after, towards the end of the episode, when Walter is actually out, like actually out, like, I wasn't really, I didn't think that Walter's gonna be out, like, out, like I said, but Walter proved me wrong. He was actually out, like, all of that money. Yeah, man. So Jesse's now in this position where he has all of this money. All of that money can be traced back to Walter, right? So what is he going to do with that money? Is he actually going to accept that money? Move on with his life? Almost like hush money to an extent, right? Like, hey, Jesse, I give you all of this money, so don't rat me out if bad things happen, But even that scene, though, like reminiscing about the good old days, having that nostalgia talk with Walter, and by the end of it, Jesse pulling out the gun and throwing it away. Obviously, during that moment when Jesse's about to open the door, he went out of frame, obviously to take the gun for defensive purposes. It's Walter we are talking here. It's Walter that he is facing, known killer and murderer. So clearly you can see that Jesse was like tense up throughout that entire scene. Like he was like, But Walter once again proving to Jesse that I am innocent. I am innocent, Jesse. All of these thoughts that I am this monster, all in your head, Jesse. Look, I'm giving you all of this money. Which is why I am also still looking forward to the day Jesse realizes what Walter has done. Like Hank finally figuring out Walter is WW. Walter is Heisenberg. Walter is the guy, the monster that he is looking for. That is, we can cross that off the checklist, right? Of things that should happen. The only thing left for me that should happen is Jesse figuring out that Walter is the one responsible for a lot of things, from Jane to Brock. All of that needs to come into light. And the moment Jesse understands that, the moment Jesse realizes that, is the moment where Jesse is going to flip. That is the moment where Jesse is going to betray Walt. And if we are discussing the downfall of Walter, which at this point I think it's inevitable. I mean, I've talked about this since season 1, I think. And I've talked about it and brought it up multiple times already, just to make sure that people who are watching this know where I am and what my stance is in regards to my prediction for the end of this, of the series. Walter's gonna... He's not gonna make it, man. Like, Walter is going to have his downfall. Walter's going to be defeated. It's gonna be the most cathartic and melancholic moment in the entire series. But the question of how remains to be seen, right? The poison, the ricin, or whatever its name is, that is the only thing that I can think of right now that could be the cause for Walter's inevitable downfall, because Walter's been saving that up time and time again, wanting to use it but never could, right? And I always find the idea, the what's the word? Not cliche. Well, yeah, cliche. I always find the cliche of the character being defeated by their own creation to be a cathartic trope. Trope is the word I was looking for, not cliche. I always love that trope, because it's like, your biggest achievement is also your biggest failure at the same time. Like, that is your downfall. That is Walter's downfall. So I'm looking forward to it if it does happen. If not, then Jesse's probably gonna be the one who's gonna do it. Maybe it's on accident. Maybe Walter's actually gonna do it himself. Like, there are still so many possibilities on how Walter's going to, bite the bullet here. Or maybe Walter's not gonna bite the bullet. There is that possibility, of course, right? Walter getting out of this alive. Still gonna be some repercussions for sure. The possibility of Walter getting life imprisonment, or getting chased down as a wanted criminal for life and whatever. Like, there's so many possibilities for ending Walter's character here, but I don't see any possibility of him ending positively, so to speak. It has to be negative. It has to be something bad, Like, you cannot reward Walter for all of his mistakes and all of his past actions, and I guess upcoming actions, because season's not over yet. So, yeah. Some really, really interesting and fascinating stuff that are being brought upon here in this moment, in this episode, I would say. Beyond all of that, Todd. I briefly talked about Todd during the reaction, but Walter's out. Does that mean Todd is out? I don't know. Todd's the one who is, getting some of these money as well, right? He's the one who's also getting paid. This is the first time that Todd might actually be feeling this level of success, compared to his past jobs and everything, maybe low payment. I mean, here he's making millions, right? So Who knows where Todd is gonna be in this situation? If Todd is still Team Heisenberg, then he's probably gonna be helping Walt deal with the Hank situation, which I am afraid of. But if he is not, and he's like out for himself, like any other criminal, then that's also gonna be a problem, right? We have to solve Todd's position in the story before we can solve everything else in the story. At least that's how I feel when it comes to like where the narrative is gonna go. Like we need to get rid of Todd first before we can get rid of everything else, you know. But beyond all of that, love the direction of this episode. Love some of the montages and the transitions and the editing in this episode. Really, really, really well done, and good music choices as well for those two standout montages. Really well done. Really well done. Yeah, that's all I'll say for now. When it comes to this episode, obviously the final reveal of this episode is, you know, the main talking point. But yeah, on with the next episode. All right, an interesting place to start the episode. Oh wait a minute. This is the White residence. Oh, okay. Oh, what? Oh, okay. Hold up. Whoa. The fact that they are showing this right now, what does it say? Ooh, okay. But no. The fact that they are showing this now, showcasing the outcome of what happens, right, in the future. And we know currently in, well, I guess the present, in the past, or whatever you want to call it, we know that Hank just found out, right? Oh, great shot. Like, there's so many possibilities, right, on what happened in the past. Well, I mean, the fact that they're spelling out his name, Heisenberg, right there, pretty much, you know, everybody knows. He's going for it. Yeah! The poison comes into play at last. Well, I guess it's gonna be a while until we actually see what Walter's gonna be using to poison, because obviously we're gonna be catching up with the future of the story like way later into the season, right?
Hello, Carol.
Well, that pretty much confirms that everybody knows that Walter is Heisenberg in the future. Well, most people around the area, because obviously some people don't recognize him still, right? Based on the prologue in the first episode of this season. Hank, anytime now. Oh. I am hype. I am so hype and scared at the same time. The revelation, man. Like, Mike might be like feeling weak at this point, right? Like yeah. Yeah. Keep the book as evidence. How could this be?
You are the devil.
Don't. That is okay. Not subtle at all.
No, I'm good. I think we need to shove off.
No, don't worry about it. I have plenty of help.
And by that she means me.
I love and I hate this at the same time. This changes the dynamics so much. Like their interaction, their relationship, the narrative.
Hey, you okay to drive?
I love the way they're editing this. It's clear that Walter's like, the danger here. Walter holding the car door there, almost like a jump scare.
Hello, Carol.
Oh, hi, Walt.
Well, that's gonna change.
And you know where they were 3 or 4 months ago.
Hank. Oh, you gotta focus, man. You gotta focus on the road. Oh, love the way they're editing this.
Hank!
Having a panic attack.
What if it happens again?
It's not gonna happen again.
How can you know that? You can't even say what it was in the first place.
Marie, baby. I'm okay. I'm fine. Trust me. Discussion over.
Pulling up Gail's file once again. Making sure that the writing is exactly the same. Yeah. This is exciting, man. Directed by Bryan Cranston as well. Come on. Now the other question, of course, is like what happens to Skyler and Walter Jr. and everybody else, right, in the future.
Good morning. Welcome to A1. Just the regular.
Is that Lydia?
Just the regular. That's fine.
68%. And falling.
Good morning. May I have your ticket, please?
I knew there would be a drop in quality, but 68%. This is not what I agreed to.
I mean, I don't have to
That'll
say
be
it, but
$14.95, please.
the switch up from Gus and Walter in this position, right?
It'll only be a few more minutes. There's some complimentary coffee if you like.
I mean, that is so Gus-coded.
She's a former business associate who wants me to go back. And I won't.
I mean, Walter's standing his ground here, right? Not gonna go back.
Boss Janice said to tell you a few of them might not have indexes. We could give you a hand sorting through them.
I got it, thanks.
Yeah, this is personal. I don't even think Hank's gonna ask, like, Gomi for help on this one. This is too personal. All of these cases, all of these moments, all of these past episodes, finally getting connected, right? In Hank's mind. I mean, if Hank could get a hold of Jesse, like Jesse's the only last. Wow. Hank looking at.
Dude, yo, why do you think McCoy never likes to be nowhere? Cause he's a doctor, bitch. Look it up, it's science.
I love that these two are just discussing Star Trek.
The whole crew's in the galley. They're eating Tullaberry pies.
Tullaberry?
Tullaberries. From Gamma Quadrant, yo.
That's Voyager, dude.
Okay.
Barn door open.
Barn door.
What the fuck just happened?
How is the maestro?
Hey, yo, Saul. What were you doing?
This goes to Kaylee Ehrmantraut, and that goes to Mr. and Mrs. Albert Sharp.
Mr. and Mrs. Who?
Drew Sharp's parents.
Drew Sharp. That's a kid on TV.
Oh.
Kid, you might want to think about cleaning up a little, getting some rest. You'd look better.
Let's get it done.
Man, Jesse's so over with this. Like, he's so done. But this also shows, like, how kind-hearted he is. Haven't seen Walter in this position in a long time. Seasons ago. How cruel. And once again, Walter proves that he is still in control of Jesse's life.
This is your money. Come on, you've earned it.
I mean, if it is his money, then he can do whatever he wants with the money, Walt. Including giving it away. Here we go again.
But son, you need to stop focusing on the darkness behind you.
Pulling the sun card.
You're out. And so am I. I've been out for about a month.
I can feel Jesse's, like, frustration through the screen here. Like, Walter, shut the fuck up with the bullshit. Like, this is a showcase of two emotions here. One is really real in Jesse, and Walter's emotion is clearly faked.
I did not kill Mike. The last time that I saw him, He had his bag, the one that I brought him.
This is so well directed because I am feeling what Jesse is feeling right now, which is frustration and anger. Like, we're not dumb, you know?
I'll be right back.
So how long until Walter realizes that the book is missing? Come on. Yep. Yep.
Have you seen Leaves of Grass?
What?
My book? Walt Whitman, dark green hardcover.
I didn't even know he had that.
Man, Walter... The thought of Mike doesn't even cross Walter's mind. Like, what? Like, why would it? Unless...
What's wrong with Hank?
Here we go. Making sure that he's not bugged. Well, he is bugged.
Take it. Go ahead. Just take it.
That's wild. This is wild. Oh, what a transition right there. Well. Dude, the way... Look at Hank's eyes when they were zooming in on him. He's like, ah, fuck, ah, shit, oh, God. Hide the evidence.
They're good guys, huh? Yeah. Well, good to see you up and about.
Oh, this dynamic.
Good. Good to hear.
Yeah.
When I heard you weren't going into work, looks like you have the work coming to you.
Avoiding contact, eye contact.
If there's anything I can do.
Complete change in tone. That forced smile.
You're gonna laugh, but I have to ask you about this. Believe it or not, I found this on my car.
Oh, God.
You wouldn't know anything about this, would you?
Are they actually going to talk about it? You beat the shit out of him.
All along it was you, Hank. I don't know where this is coming from, Hank, but just
I swear to Christ, I will put you under the jail.
Just take a breath, okay? Just listen to yourself. These wild accusations, they could destroy our family.
Damn.
And for what?
Shit about family.
My cancer is back.
Good.
Rot, you son of a bitch.
The metaphors. The metaphors. The analogies.
Skylar, bring the kids here. And then we'll talk.
That is not going to happen.
He's gonna make it happen. Oh.
I don't even know who I'm talking to.
Dude. I feel so betrayed.
Maybe your best course would be to tread lightly.
That's a fucking threat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This dynamic. This is what I've been waiting for. Alright, man, oh man, oh man. One thing that I was not expecting from this episode is how Hank and Walter's dynamic immediately changed this instant. As in, Hank knows who Walter is. Walter knows that Hank knows. Wasn't expecting it to be this episode. I was expecting that to be like in the next 2 or 3 more episodes, right? I was like the way I was thinking is that Hank's gonna be, making sure that Walter is Heisenberg, planning out all of the details and all of the, finding all of the correct evidences before he points the finger at Walt. But no, we're just skipping all of that. We're just skipping all of that. I mean, we are 5 seasons in. I mean, we know, the gist of it. We know the details of it, right? The only one who doesn't know is Hank, sure, but like, we know. Let's keep it going. So Hank immediately accusing Walt of being Heisenberg, and Walter not really doing it. I mean, Walter's not even, he's not denying it. In fact, he's threatening him. You're right. If you don't know me, then you better tread lightly. Like, what the? But I love it. I love that we are already establishing this new dynamic, this new status quo immediately at the start of the second half of the season, so that we can focus more on how this dynamic is going to play out by the end of the season, of the series, in fact. So, really looking forward to that. And honestly, again, really scared for Hank in this situation. I mean, the fact that Walter is the only character in the present that we are seeing in the future, right? Talk about like what happened in the beginning of this episode, right? The house pretty much a no zone enter warning signs everywhere. The Heisenberg graffiti, whatever you want to call it, is all, inside of the house and the walls, so people already know who Walter is, even his neighbors, right? And the fact that, again, Walter is the only one that we see in the future, and we're not seeing Hank, we're not seeing Skyler, we don't know what happened to them, like all of these other characters, we don't know what happened to them, we only know that Walter survives. That's the insane part, because now we are being presented this mystery, right? This anxious mystery of like, what are the fates of these characters? What happened to them, right? Now there is that sense of danger, right? So Walter, we know, is safe, but all of these other characters, they may not be safe, and that is what worries me, and that is what the show is excelling at. Because now, the more I'm gonna be watching the series, the more we are progressing towards the very end, the more likely some of these characters are probably gonna bit the dust, right? Actions have consequences. Every character that Walter has done business to has either gone to jail or pretty much dead. Well, actually, most of them are pretty much dead. Gale, dead. Gus, dead. Mike, dead. All of the major characters are dead. Even the minor characters, looking at like from seasons 1, 2, and 3 before that, all dead. So, yeah. But, while there's plenty of things that we can try to decipher on, like what Walter is trying to do in the future, right? Because you see Walter with an arsenal of weaponry at his disposal, right, in the future. So obviously there's a target that he wants to get. The ricin, the poison, finally coming into play. So we know he's trying to take somebody out. We just don't know who. And Walter talking about the fact that the cancer is back, which I already mentioned, like the metaphor, the analogy of cancer and him making meth and whatever. Or not just making meth, basically, because he's he's done with that, right? He's quitting, so he says. But more so his in this sense, you can see it as him as Heisenberg, right? I will associate Walter's cancer as Heisenberg, right? His alter ego, his persona, this other version of himself that is self-destructive, right? That is the cancer. Heisenberg is the cancer, right? Heisenberg is back. And the fact that he said that he probably only has like 6 months before he's a dead man, right? Give or take. And based on the future scenes that we have seen before, there is a chance that that's probably like more than 6 months into the future. In fact, it could be like a year or so into the future. Remembering back at like the beginning of this season, Walter's quote-unquote birthday, right, in that diner, which apparently he's like 52 years old. Currently speaking, he is 51 years old. Who knows what has happened? We still don't exactly know like the time frame of like the future events. I'm just giving like a rough idea of like, could be a year, could be more, could be less, right? But regardless, either way, it is a bold decision for the show to not only showcase like, or I guess in a way, quote unquote, spoil future events, right? Because now we know Walter's alive, and we know that he's not gonna be with his family. But it's also a bold decision to immediately change the dynamic in this episode. Right after the previous one, we just ended with Hank, finally figuring out that Walter is Heisenberg. Now Hank is already confronting him immediately. Props to that, because now things are gonna get heated up, right? Jesse, on the other hand, in this episode, very devastating. I very much can sympathize with him to a degree. I don't think Jesse's dumb. Nobody here thinks that Jesse's dumb, right? It's just that Jesse has been manipulated throughout most of his most of the year by Walter, right? So it's kind of hard for him to see Walter in a different lens, through a different light. I mean, same thing with Hank, right? I mean, he doesn't even know who he's talking to anymore. But Jesse, listening again to Walter's like quote unquote emotional plea, his emotional discussion with Jesse, and in which case, great scene, but you can definitely see like the difference between one who is actually feeling emotions in Jesse, and then Walter, who is obviously faking his emotions. Like all of this, the way Walter talks, the way Walter speaks, as if he's a bad actor in showcasing his emotions. Like, Jesse, you gotta believe me, Jesse. You gotta believe me, right? I wouldn't do that. Like, it's almost comically bad, but like that's the point. Which is a stark contrast to who Walter was in the beginning of the series, if memory serves me right. Like if I'm remembering back to like how Walter behaved all those seasons ago, and who Walter is now. Walter is absolutely feeling a lot more comfortable with himself, but that also means that he is prone to being more open about his how do I put this? His lies, so to speak. Like beforehand, he's trying so hard to hide it. Like he's doing a good job at lying to other people. But now it's like it's been success after success after success. In that, I feel like that is feeding on Walter's ego of like, oh yeah, nobody's stopping me. I'm on top of the world, baby. Like no harm can come upon me. And so he's not really trying anymore. He feels complacent, is what I'm trying to say, right? And the cracks are starting. Well, it's not really starting to show. It's been starting to show like seasons ago. It's just now that it's noticeable for a lot of other characters, right? And for Jesse to listen to Walter and just, going like, yeah, whatever you say, man. Whatever you say. And then you look at Jesse's eyes and you like see like the pain in those. Good stuff. Good stuff. overall, a really good episode of Breaking Bad. I cannot wait to watch the next episode. Yep. $100 bills. Well, this lucky man, who just so happens to be awake late at night. Whoa. Oh, great visual. Into the mind of Jesse Pinkman. Alright, picking up where we left off in the previous episode. Oh.
No, what do you mean she won't get off the phone? I am giving you permission, Mariano. You make her get off the phone.
It's a game of chess. But like the thing is, right? Skyler knows about Walter. She is in cahoots in some capacity. Now it's only a matter of convincing Skyler to betray Walter, right? Entirely. Ooh.
I just wished I'd seen it sooner.
There are still things that Hank doesn't realize yet.
Look, I don't know what he did to you to force you to keep his secrets.
Okay.
You're done being his victim.
You're done being his victim. That's a nice strategy to put into Skyler here.
Right now? Sure, why not? It's still fresh, you know?
She's gonna have to be very careful with the wording, because Skyler obviously understands that she is also in trouble with this, you know? She's not off the hook.
His cancer. His cancer's back. That's what he said.
First time she heard about it.
Start telling me what you know. We start filling in the gaps. I'll have him in lockup before the sun goes down.
The absolute hatred.
Skyler, you're not thinking straight about this. You have to listen to me.
Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? Hank, are you arresting me? Am I under arrest?
Hank should be realizing, like, Skyler's connection to all of this. Whereas Skyler is also confused about, like, what is the next course of action? Like, again, be in line with Walter or go against Walter.
I gotta do it, man.
Hey, quit screwing around.
Come on.
Oh, screw it.
Yeah.
Pay Huel and Kubi and take your cut. The rest is mine. Insurance in case I need you.
In case you need me, I'm thinking the probability is high.
Very high. Speaking of Jesse, once again, if Hank cannot get through Skyler, Jesse is his next best option, right?
Skyler, I'm just going to wait here until you open the door. So let me in now or 3 hours from now. But I'm not leaving until I see you. Skyler? Please?
Decisions.
How long have you known? Hank said that when you walked into the pool, that's when you knew. When you had your...
Oh, it's longer than that.
I am so sorry. You're sorry.
She isn't. Oh.
Marie, hey.
Oh.
Hey, what are you doing? She's coming with us. No, she is not. Give her back to me.
Marie, put her down.
You can't take that away from
Marie.
me. Give me my baby, Skyler. That is my child. Give me my baby.
Marie!
Now.
Do it now.
I mean, it hurts seeing this family fall apart again, but like to this degree, which is inevitable, but at the same time, it's like, now that we are here, it's... Yeah, I'm not ready. I've been preparing for seasons and seasons up until this moment, and when the moment arrives, it's clear. I'm not ready.
34, 59, 20, 106, 36, 52. 34, 59, 20, 106, 36, 52.
Alright, now the question is, who's actually gonna be digging up the money? Because I don't think Walt's gonna be digging that money. I think that's probably the last time Walter's gonna be, you know, seeing those money.
Say something. Please. Oh my God. Walt. Walt.
Oh, it's kind of hard to say. Or to have a conversation with either of these characters right now, right? Because Walter doesn't want to spill the beans in case Skylar is wired in, and Skylar doesn't want to get on Walter's bad side because otherwise, well.
This is it.
Does it make you happy?
Oh, what a question.
I can't remember the last time I was happy.
What an answer.
It was me. I screwed up.
You did. You became more and more careless by the seasons.
He's got his suspicions. Not much else.
No hard evidences. No proofs. As long as nobody struck a nerve with Walter's ego, I think Walter can keep quiet. I mean, also counting Lydia, like there are still a few other candidates that Hank can talk upon to get information about Walter, should they choose to give that information, of course.
I really wish we'd have given him a chance.
Hey, we have a problem.
Lydia, what are you planning? I'm waiting to hear gunshots. There we go. Alright, question is, who won?
Hello? Yeah?
Well, there's my answer. You know, Todd and his group here, they get the job done. They are a force to be reckoned with. If anything, Todd and his group is probably going to be the one that is going to be like the worst obstacle for Hank in this situation, right?
Tell Steve, tell Raimi. You've got enough to get them to believe your story, at least. Put the whole DEA on it. That's how this is supposed to work, right?
Duty and family.
I'd admit that the person I've been chasing the past year is my own brother-in-law.
Yeah, there's that. There's that angle.
It's over for me.
The incompetency, right? How could you be so blind to it all?
I'll go in there. I'm bringing proof, not suspicion.
Every character so far has been doing the right moves, right? Being very cautious, being very smart about their strategy and all.
You got a budget meeting in an hour, and then you got a meet and greet with the new prescription task force guys, all right?
Hey, listen.
Man, just hearing his voice. Hanks. Fantastic acting in terms of like giving that feeling of
Did you hear about that money thing?
wanting to tell you something.
No, what money?
Oh god, here it is.
This. It involves your old pal Jesse Pinkman.
Pinkman?
There it is.
I'll give you this.
Here it is. But yeah, Hank's acting in terms of like that heavy feeling of having a secret and you want to tell it, but you know telling it is gonna ruin your entire life as well. Ugh.
Definitely doesn't allow for that whole Robin Hood thing, but apparently Jesse here,
Come on, Hank.
he's just raking it in. I could use a smoke break, yeah. How about you? Yeah. Maybe you could keep an eye on our suspect for us, just for a few minutes.
Absolutely. I can do that.
Okay.
Alright. It's the opportunity he needs. Alright, here we go. What do you mean you end the episode there? What? Alright, quick thoughts on this episode because I feel like I need to watch the next episode immediately right now. Usually I would just, wait a day before I continue on with the next episode, but that cliffhanger, what was that? What was that? It didn't even feel like the end of the episode. I was just like, alright, let's see nope. We ended there. So, sure, but in regards to this episode, it's great to see the characters finally trying to strategize and thinking of like what is the next best move to their own interests, right? Skylar has her own interests, Hank has his own interests, same thing with Walter, same thing with Lydia, same thing with a lot of other characters, right? And I love how everybody's trying to, move into a safe direction, especially Skylar, because Skylar right now is in probably the worst position, not really Walter. I mean, Walter's like for himself, obviously, but Skylar here, obviously, she is being presented a choice. She can either defend Walter or go against Walter. The problem with going against Walter is that Skylar is just as guilty as Walter in that she has helped Walter many a times throughout the series, right? Hank doesn't realize this. Hank doesn't know that Skylar is knee-deep into this whole situation, that Skylar knows about the situation in that her decisions are her own decisions. It's not like Walter is. Well, there are times where Walter is kind of like forcing Skylar here and there, but ultimately, Skylar is the one who decided, okay, let's do it. So, once Hank figures that out, say goodbye to immunity, which makes like the conversation in the restaurant like earlier in this episode really smart in my eyes, because Hank thinks he has the upper hand in trying to get Skylar on his side, but of course he doesn't realize that Skylar doesn't want to be on his side. Skylar is guilty, right? So Skylar's like, maybe get a lawyer? Can I get a lawyer? And the moment she asked that, I think it's also the moment where Hank is like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Like Hank, I don't think Hank has realized it yet, but the fact that Skylar immediately asked for a lawyer proves that Skylar doesn't fully trust Hank, and the fact that Skylar doesn't trust Hank should clue in for Hank here that something is definitely amiss here when it comes to Skylar, right? He hasn't figured that out yet, but hopefully soon enough he gets that realization. I mean, Marie understands that. Marie has figured that out in this episode, right? During their talk, it's only a matter of will Marie tell that to Hank, and how will Hank handle that information as well, right? But in regards to handling information, of course, Hank here at the very end is about to get crucial information from Jesse, if Jesse is willing to talk, which is also like this dynamic that I'm also wanting between Jesse and Hank, because Jesse from the very beginning of the series has been set up as somebody who has been abused. Like the funny thing about Hank asking Skylar about like Walter's not abusing you or anything, right? Like whatever monster that he is, whatever damage that he has inflicted upon you and whatever, that doesn't necessarily apply to Skylar, but it totally applies to Jesse, right? So if Hank can just say those same things or use the same tactic that he was trying to get at Skylar to Jesse, I think Jesse might flip, because Jesse is the one who is like receiving all of this blunt damage from Walter, like psychologically speaking as well, look at him in this situation right now at the very end. Like, he is defeated. He is broken as a human being. Like, everything that he loves is completely destroyed. And Skylar still has something to fight for, right? Skylar still has the baby, Walter Jr., and everybody else, you know, even Marie. Like, they are still family members and there are still friends that Skylar wants to keep safe, which makes her choice and her decision far more, you know, stressful and hard because, well, there is this balance that she's trying to maintain, and obviously she cannot maintain that balance any longer. Whereas Jesse, he has cut ties with everyone and everything, you know, like, except maybe for Badger and Skinny Pete, but you know, like, they're, you know, like, compared to like actual family members, Jesse doesn't have that anymore. Like, he has cut ties with everything. Like, even, you know, with his girlfriend and with Brock and everything, like, he cut ties with them. Jesse literally has nothing else to lose at this point, which makes him perfect. This is the perfect time for him to flip, right? Who else is going to suffer for, you know, based on Jesse's, like, decision later if he does end up working with Hank, if he does end up betraying Walter? Like, nobody, nothing, like, which makes the ending a bit more, you know, I'm really can't believe that they just end that with that cliffhanger. Yeah, I'm watching the next episode immediately. That's all I say about this episode, because this episode, you know, pretty straightforward in terms of like what it's trying to do and what it's trying to deliver. Yeah. Here we go. Turn the camera off. Private conversation.
I want to talk to you about your partner, Heisenberg.
Here we go.
See, I know he's my brother-in-law, Walt.
Got his attention.
That's the look.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky for you, I'm more interested in him. So I got an offer.
An offer he can't refuse? It's gonna be hard to crack the egg, though.
Beat it out of me. He really did a number on you, didn't he?
Here's the angle that I was hoping for. Press on him psychologically speaking.
My own brother-in-law. Lying to me for over a year. Using me. Maybe you understand that feeling.
He does. He absolutely does.
I think you want to talk. Not to you.
Agent Schrader, beat any good suspects lately?
Hey, you gonna work today? You were out late last night.
Gonna be hard to hide away that pain. That bruise, I mean.
I'm gonna head out, okay?
Where you going?
Anne-Marie just called.
Well.
Oh, good. Come on back inside.
What happened?
Oh, there's nothing. No, I'm fine. It's fine. Really. I do want to talk to you.
Walter Jr. is gonna be like the hardest to accept the truth. He's the only one out of the loop.
Don't worry about this, okay? I know that's hard, but I beat this once. There's no reason to think I won't again. So why don't you go on and help your Aunt Marie, and we'll talk about this later with your mom.
No way. I'm staying. I'm not leaving.
Walter Jr. is a good kid. Too innocent for this show, honestly speaking, but...
Walt, are you sure about this?
It's the only way.
Oh, interesting.
Ready.
Just like way back in season 1.
This is my confession.
We're gonna see the full confession clip like much later in the series, maybe even during the finale of the show. Like, we have to, we gotta. Oh god. I like that the whites are wearing white.
Okay. I'll start. Skylar and I.
Welcome to Gardunios. My name's Trent. I'll be taking care of you today. Can I start anybody off with some beverages? Margarita? All right, how about some of our tableside guacamole?
That was terrible timing.
Junior has been through a lot already this year.
You are just...
This investigation, Hank, you realize what this will do to him, hearing these things.
He's gonna hear it when I kick in your front door and arrest you.
Yeah, Hank and Marie is not having all of this bullshit. You know, like all of this bullshit that Walter keeps spewing out. Used to work. Not anymore.
So, how about that guacamole? We make it right here at the table. Just give you guys a few more minutes.
I think the dude looked at Hank's like expression and I'm like, okay, maybe I should not. Yeah.
He's already facing the idea of
Hank is about to burst. Like he's about to throw that glass.
I swear to God, you start throwing the word right at me.
What I mean
Was it right to run a drug empire? Right to
there
lie
is no drug empire.
lying to your son, to all of us, is that right?
What do I have to do to make you believe
Why
me?
did you kill yourself, Walt? Just kill yourself. This whole thing dies with you, right? That's what you're saying here? Is that Hank should just
Jesus.
let go and wait for you to die?
He's not getting off that easy.
Jesus, Hank.
And the same goes for you if you stick with him.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna negotiate your way out of this thing. There's only one solution. Step up, be a man, and admit what you've done. That's it. There is no other option.
My name is Walter Hartwell White.
Here we go.
If you're watching this tape, I'm probably dead. Murdered by my brother-in-law, Hank Schrader. Hank has been building a meth empire for over a year now and using me as his chemist. Shortly after my 50th birthday,
Nah. Walter is fucking insane.
that he made through his career with the DEA.
Nah. Now they see Walter for what he truly is.
Hank took me on a ride-along and showed me just how much money even a small meth operation could make. And I was weak.
This is insane.
Hank had a partner, a businessman named Gustavo.
Nah. Walter is fucking insane.
Recently, I tried once again to quit. And in response, he gave me this. I live in fear every day that Hank will kill me.
Walter brought his A game with his acting here. Like, he still got it.
That video is a bunch of lies, Hank. Anybody who knows you will know.
$177,000.
Yeah, that's...
What's he talking about?
Time to spill the beans, Marie.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Marie. Oh, God, no.
How was I supposed to know? How was I supposed to know where it really
Why
came
were they
from?
paying for my medical bills? What about my insurance?
Insurance wouldn't have covered the treatment that you needed, and I just wanted the best.
Why didn't you tell me?
All of the lies. Everything just bursting out. Yeah, Hank's not getting away with this. Like,
If I were you, I'd be more nervous. Ugh, Jesus. It's always a desert.
wow. Jesse letting the spider come to him. I mean, we always know that Jesse has a soft spot for animals and even insects to a degree.
Just him being there all by himself, and plus he was acting kind of shady. Seemed like he didn't want the other cops hearing what he had to say.
Jesse has a keen eye.
You want to hazard a guess what his little charity drive cost you?
Why don't you go take a walk, Saul? Just get out of town. Don't look back.
I mean, that's literally what Jesse has been trying to do this entire time.
And what's here for you now, anyway? If I could, I'd trade places.
Come on, Jesse. Stop listening to his bullshit.
Would you just, for once, stop working me?
What are you talking about?
Here we go.
Stop jerking me around.
Jesse, I am not working you.
Stop telling me
Yes, you
how to live
are.
my life.
Me leaving town is all about me and turning over a new leaf, but it's really about you. Come on. Just tell me you need this.
Oh, look at the way Jesse's like backing up there. Man, it feels so wrong.
Change?
Whew. What a scene.
You got a history with this kid. If he catches wind that you're trailing him and this explodes, he could sue. Look, if I can't explain this to Raimi, I gotta pull my guys.
Fine, take him off.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
You know what? It's gonna have to be another day. Reschedule it.
Hank's probably gonna go after Jesse on his own. I mean, if he can't get somebody to look after Jesse, then he's gonna do it himself.
Some people are immune to good advice.
Some people are immune for good advice.
Seriously? Hello Kitty?
Seriously? It's free?
What about Alaska?
Alaska. Okay, well, that's a different vibe.
Get as far away as possible from the US. I mean, Alaska is still in the US, but you know what I mean. Ooh. Nice shot. Interesting location as well. I mean, Hank doesn't know where Jesse is right now, right? So Hank's not gonna magically show up and pick him up here. What was missing?
Why didn't you...
Whoa, 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 whoa.
You stole it off of me. You and him, you took it right out of my pocket, didn't you?
Whoa,
The dope?
calm down. Yes. Okay. I had you lift your dope. I told you I couldn't risk the guy not taking you.
No! Before! The cigarettes!
Oh, ah. My god, I can't believe I just clocked that in.
Over that asshole, Mr. White! He poisoned Brooke!
Yep.
Get off me! What do I pay you for?
We got a situation.
Hey, it's me. You got a big problem.
Jesus.
I'm gonna go head on over to the drugstore. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Oh boy. No. Don't end it. They gotta stop with these cliffhangers, man. Like, come on. Banging my head on the fact that I didn't really clock in immediately what was Jesse thinking about when he realized that the dope was missing and he was literally looking at the cigarette like come on. That took me way longer than I wanted in terms of like me connecting the dots. But anyways, moving on. Jesse finally figuring out that Walter has indeed done all of the bad shit that Walter has done. Everything bad that has happened to Jesse, what happened to Brock, and maybe more, right? He hasn't figured out that Walter killed Jane yet, but it's only going to be a matter of time until he thinks that Walter is responsible for a lot of other things as well. This is a good first step. This is exactly what I wanted from Jesse. We are finally in the end game, literally speaking. Like we are in the end game. Like, I feel like the next couple of episodes is just going to be non-stop action. And by action, I mean characters are going to be acting in many such ways in order to reach whatever goal that they want. Jesse gonna set fire to the Walter White to the White household and whatever. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna work because we do see the house in the future, right? Furnitures are gone, yes, but I don't think there's. I don't see any like, you know, I don't see any indication of a fire in that future scene with Walter in the house. Like I don't see that. So I don't think Jesse's actually gonna set fire, or maybe he will. I don't know, but somebody's gotta stop him. What my main concern right now is who is in the house. Like, is the house empty? Is Walter Jr. there? Is the baby there? Where are they? And if somebody is to stop Jesse, who is it gonna be? Because Jesse's not gonna stop on his own. Jesse is gonna do exactly what he plans to do, which is to burn everything to the ground, right? And I feel like Jesse at this point is as good as time as any to probably help Hank. If Hank plays his cards well, if Hank goes in, finds Jesse, give him some form of comfort, or tell him anything, right, to say, hey, we're gonna stop this bastard once and for all, which is exactly what he was saying before to Jesse, right? Jesse never really want to help Hank because of his current situation and because of what he thinks Walter is, right? But that has changed. That has completely changed. Jesse is not Walter's ally here anymore. I mean, he knows Walter in and out. So, yeah. But overall, fantastic episode. I mean, Walter making that video recording of him confessing, and the confession just being, yeah, it was my brother. Hank is the one who's, you know, telling me to do all these terrible, terrible things. And then with the fake tears and everything. Yeah, Walter cooked in that situation. Yeah, Hank is fucked. I don't see any probable future in which Hank gets on top of this. I don't see any way that Hank is able to win this. I don't. The most likely scenario, especially given the fact that we do know that Walter survives in the future, is that Hank is either gonna die, jail time, lives are probably gonna be ruined, destroyed. Miss Skyler and the kids are probably gonna be away from Walter. Shit, Skyler might actually be the one in jail, and Walter's the only one who survives, and he's the only one who manages to escape. Lots of things that can happen. Walter Jr. Still the only one who doesn't know Walter's like true nature, which again still saddens me. Like, he is the only one who still trusts his dad and sees his dad as a hero and not this villain. So that is just gonna hit right in the feels whenever he figures out, you know, like who his father truly is. Like that is just gonna hurt. But you know, smart plays from Walter, and you know, just the way he is calculating and everything. Like, this is, so you know, when I was talking about like in the previous episodes in how Walter and his acting has gotten worse and worse, right? And he's more and more complacent. He's more relaxed now that all of his supposed obstacles are removed. He thinks that everything is going on his merry way. Obviously not. So now he's kind of gearing back up again, like, okay, time to lock the fuck in, right? And the problem is, previous seasons, you know, ages ago, Walter has time to process these things. You know, like sometimes he will think of an idea on the spot, but the thing about Walter and why his plans usually work out is that it is planned meticulously, right? He looks at the situation carefully, you know, and he tries to assess it, and then he executes it. Here, things are going fast. Like, everything is just happening left, right, and center, right? Everything is just more and more build up, more and more situations arising, more and more plot twists, more and more people figuring out who Walter is, and the more danger that he is in along with his family. So he is working overtime. He has no choice but to think of, you know, ideas and things on the spot. And right now he's just like, okay, well, get a gun, probably gonna kill Jesse, right? That's probably his next move, right? He's probably gonna kill Jesse. Saul probably told him like, hey, yeah, we got a situation here. Jesse knows what you did, and he's probably gonna go after you and kill you. So yeah, what else is he supposed to do, right? What else is Walter supposed to do in that situation but to defend himself, right? He's not really thinking, okay, is there a plan B? Is there a plan C? Nope, plan A, kill Jesse. That's probably what he's thinking, right? And all of this is going to lead up to just terrible decisions upon terrible decisions. This season alone, season 5, I think this is the most times where Walter's plans are just fumbling and just going not the way that he wanted, not the way that he is expecting. You know, like he thinks he is succeeding, but then bad thing happened. Immediately, there's consequences. Immediately, there's like no time for him to process, and he's just trying to, the way he's trying to fix everything is so haphazardly, fast paced that it's just gonna keep breaking. Like there's no way out of it. Do I want to continue with the next episode, or do I have to? I don't know. I think I'm gonna end it here, with this batch of episode reaction list. I mean, I really want to continue with the next episode, but I think I'm just gonna end it here, and then we'll continue with the next batch, next time. Fantastic episode once again. We'll see how things are gonna play out with Hank, especially with that video recording and how that's gonna play out. Hank is currently going out. We don't know where he's gonna go, but you know, there is the possibility that Hank is gonna go to Walter's house and inevitably find Jesse there and may talk it out. Hank could also just be trying to go to the car wash, or it could just be going out, walking on the park, just trying to collect his thoughts and actually trying to plan things out for, you know, like the next step, right? Because Hank has time, right? And this is the difference between Hank and Walter's situation right now, right? Hank has time to process this, you know, like him trying to get Walter, that is all in Hank's control now. Hank literally has the upper hand. He has the control to, you know, to go capture Walt. You know, he just needs to get, you know, to give the signal, give the call, and then go after him, right? And Walter is trying to catch up with Hank. This is the situation here. Walter's rash behaviors and his quick, you know, thinking right now is because Hank is on the clock, because Hank is also moving. So Walter's next decision is gonna totally depend on what Hank's next decision is, right? Currently, there's a Jesse situation, so we need to resolve that first. So that is probably gonna happen in the next episode. We'll see. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for watching. We are nearing the end of Breaking Bad. I will see you all next time. Take care, everybody. Have a nice day. Peace.